Morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing on this amazing morning? First of all, let's first things first, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Nikki, your daily cup of information and inspiration. I am your host, Miss Nikki. So, how was everybody's Memorial Day weekend? Did you guys have a blast? What did you do this Memorial Day weekend? So, while I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what you did for this Memorial Day weekend, I am going to check and see who's in the building. And let's see who's here with us. Good morning, Miss Loyce was the first one in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. She says she is blessed. Good morning, Betty Rose. I am blessed. Hope you all had a good weekend. Yes, indeed. Good morning, Kendra. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, sis. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, Michi. Good morning, Jasmine. She says she is blessed. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes. Okay, so my weekend, we had a really good weekend. My parents came over. If I think I shared on my story, my dad and he was on the barbecue. So my parents came over. We had a good time. Me and my mom, we watched the Donna Summers movie. And what else did we do? And then we just barbecued. And then I got myself ready for the garden. So I actually um fenced it in, but not fenced, but the deer netted it closed, and closed up all of the entry points, and put my stuff out in the garden. Everything's not out yet because I was working yesterday. From I went outside in the garden, I think at about 11-ish, and I didn't come into the house until well after 6 o'clock. I think I came in about 7 o'clock from the garden. So whew, I was out there all day. I was My body is going to be hurting, and it was, and it is. So that is what I did for Memorial Day weekend. So what did you guys do? Let me check in the chat and see what's going on. Good morning, Miss Pascal. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Laura. Proud of you, girl. I poured candles for my order for Sunday. They came out fabulous. We'll post progress pics soon. Sounds like a plan, Betty Rose. Sound like a plan. Had breakfast with a friend and spent the rest of the day with the fam. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, not to mention, we did take I took 2 classes with BCMC. This weekend she had Miss Donna Maria from Indie Business Network, and she was talking all things insurance for your candle business, and also all your bath and body business, because they cover both. But also she had TikTok part 2 with Coach DC, and you guys know her as Charisma's Candle Bakery, and both classes were amazing. Very informative. So if you guys have not yet joined BCMC and you are candle maker, you might want to go over there and jump on and see what they doing over there. They got some good classes, and they especially have some good classes set up for June. So make sure you check them out. Check them out. Also, I want to say that the class that we did with Patricia, The Power of the Pivot, I said we're not going to have a replay, but I did say that if you are a member of the Honor Society, you will be able to catch the replay. And so I'm pretty sure that you do not want to miss it. I know the value of the information that was delivered on both parties, and I know that you definitely do not want to miss that class. So if you are not part of the Honor Society, I did waive it for the Memorial Day weekend. You are going to be able to get the Honor Society for $19.99 a month if you join. Today is the last day to get it at $19.99, because it is going up to $39.99, and that is what it's going to be. The people who are already in the Honor Society will continue to pay the $19.99. So make sure you're a part of it, especially if you want to catch the replay of The Power of the Pivot. So let me see. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Cousins in the building. Look, cousin. Good morning, cousin. I listened to you and started up. Oh, scaling your inventory. I think that's what it says. Scaling my inventory. It helped tremendously. Okay. Okay. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nikki, I was talking about negative talk yesterday, and my son was like, I know, I hear your class in the morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? Tell him I said thank you, and tell him I'm always asking about him. I'm always asking about him. Yes, so cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My body is sore from weeding the garden. Me too, Miss Pascal. Me too. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My body is so sore. Like I'm like, but it was good. It was good. It was a lot of squatting and a lot of breaking and hoeing and all of that other stuff. But my garden looks good. I can't wait till it's, full. Right now it's, quiet because everything is not in there and everything is not growing, but it is going to look like a jungle in a little bit. And I'm so excited for that. I have some new starts and stuff. I had no idea how many freaking tomato plants that I started. I started so many tomato plants. I ran out of space for tomatoes. So I'm going to probably put them in my garden beds because I have 3 garden beds that I still don't know what I'm sticking in, except I know that one I'm going to do cabbage, kales, those type of things, broccolis. I know I'm going to do that in one, but I was like, but I'm going to do the other two. So I said I wanted to expand and I expanded. So that was the goal for this year. One of the other goals that I have for this year is to grow these giant heads of collard greens. I am going to research and see how long it takes or whatever. I have attempted to do collard greens and I have never been successful with it yet. So this year is going to be my successful collard green season, right? I tried what I wasn't successful in growing before. Tomatoes, I was successful with that. Watermelons, I was successful with those. What else did I want to that always failed me? Cucumbers always, I never really got to get my cucumbers popping. So cucumbers was something that was my goal last year and I was able to harvest plenty of cucumbers. So with that being said, if that was my goal for last year and it was something that happened, that means you guys could set your goals and you could achieve your goals the same way that I did mine, right? And so another one of my, I told you the one that I have is the giant head of collard greens, and I am going to be watching that thing like a hawk. But that's one of my goals for this year. Miss Lloyd says she had a market on Saturday and a housewarming party on Sunday. The housewarming was amazing. We had family and friends over. So nice. Let me see. I can't wait to see your garden, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So before I would get into it, let me tell you a little bit about my garden. So when I started filming myself. So I was like, I'm gonna film myself in the garden. And good morning, Crystal. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I said I'm gonna start filming myself in the garden because usually, I'm always telling you a story about, referring to my garden, right? And so I said when I was building everything and I was cleaning everything out and getting it all prepped and ready, I'm like, this is a perfect like example for like life, right? In order for us to grow and to thrive and to be amazing and to be beautiful, we got to clean out all that other stuff is in our soil, right? We got to remove those things. We got to pull out those weeds. We got to dig deep. There were roots that were so deep into the dirt that it was pulling for like forever, right? And I had to pull all those things out because I did not want my new roots for the things that I'm planting now to get tangled up into those old roots and to stifle its growth. And so I had to make sure that I pulled everything up out of the ground so that I can ensure that my plants are going to grow and to thrive and be beautiful and grow to their, to their capacity, to whatever that is, right? And so we have to do the same thing with ourselves, right? We have to make sure that, yes, we are growing. Yes, we want to do things differently. Yes, this is a new year, new me, all that type of information, right? All that type of jazz. But if you are not willing to pull those old things out, those things that are no longer serving you, those things that are dead and rotten, or they're no longer producing, they're not serving you at all. If you are not willing to pull those things up out of you in order for you to grow and to plant the new seeds and to water it and to nurture it, if you're not willing to do that, your roots are going to get suffocated by the old roots and you are not going to be able to grow as far as you can grow. So I don't know who that message is for, but I think it's for me, it's for everybody, because I know it's definitely for me, because I can't go on doing the same old things that I used to do and the new me that I want to be, right? And the new me that I'm becoming, not that I want to be, the new me that I am becoming. I can no longer take those old things with me, because those old things, they serve their purpose, but now they're dead and gone, and now I can't use them anymore. And I don't need my roots getting, you know, caught up into that and getting tangled up, and then I can't grow, So I just wanted to say that that was part of my garden thinking when I was out there. I was like, oh, this is the perfect time for me to talk about this. But I did actually take me doing it this yesterday. So you'll be able to see it, and I'll be talking through it. I did, content, content, content. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Michi says good morning to Deltra. Good morning to Jules. I just skipped right over it. Good morning to Jules. Good morning, sis. And good morning, Chantel. All right, now I am getting to Michi. My goal for next year will be to grow tomatoes. I tried 2 or 3 times and failed. Try. Yes. I mean, you still have time. Our growing season just started, because you're in Pennsylvania with me, right? So your growing season just started, because we just had a major frost that happened, and all my friends who put their stuff in the garden beforehand that lives in this area, they had some frost damage. Some things survived, but a lot of the stuff, there was some frost damage. So now is the perfect time to put it out there. Even if you go to, like I said, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get you a start, or one of those nurseries and get you a starter tomato plant. That way you don't have to worry about doing it exactly from seed. You can just start it from there, just nurture it from there. But I encourage everybody to grow something, even if it's a little aloe vera plant. Even if it's that. Chantel says, I'm blessed. Workload is heavy today. Listening only, late, but I'm here. It is okay. It is okay. We are happy to see you. I love you too, sis. Good morning, Sherelle. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys are out here showing up and showing out. I'm so happy what I'm seeing with Sherelle. I'm so happy what I'm seeing with Laura. You guys are out there putting your stuff out there, and I am so genuinely proud for you guys. So if you were in the class for the power of the pivot, please put ones in the chat. Let me know if you caught the power of the pivot. Again, you will be able to catch the replay, and it will be in the Honor Society. Honor Society is only going to be $19.99 a month. But today, at the end of this day, is going up to $39.99. There's going to be so much more information in the Honor Society. There's going to be so much more interactive activity in there. So make sure that you get in while it's $19.99, because I tell you, it's going to $39.99, and that's still a steal on the value that's within the Honor Society. Still is still. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy terrific Tuesday, girl. Yes, it was amazing. Okay, so we got some ones in the chat. And I want to know, what were your key takeaways from the power of the pivot? What are some things that really stuck out to you? I did see that Patricia had put up, somebody said, oh, well, the class is a little bit long for it to start that late. And so that's something we're going to be considering. But when we do classes together, we are going to have a later schedule. Because, Patricia has younger children that you got to put to bed. And so if that's the case, then we will probably kind of maybe make it in sections, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to trying to do the whole class in one session, we're going to break it down so that we can maintain about an hour. It went over an hour and a half, but we're going to try to maintain it for an hour. I really enjoyed doing the power of the pivot, because for me, it's all about, like, I've been through a lot of changes within me being in business for 13 years. It's been a lot of things that I've experienced, right? A lot of trends and things have come and gone. And so I've had to pivot quite a few times within my business, right? Because when I started, all social media wasn't the way it is now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it was non-existent, because it was existent. It just wasn't as, everybody's on social media. Everybody has it in their phone. Everybody's doing, so it's a difference. It was a shift. Also, there was a shift when the spending habits started to change. I also had to pivot, because I came from being a makeup influencer on YouTube to becoming a product maker. And so when the hype of me starting a business died down, I had to find people that just wanted to know about my product, who cared about my product, that type of thing. Initially, I had the people who were supporting me because it was me, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, the influencer circle that I was around, they were supporting because of that. And that's cool, but that doesn't maintain you. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't is not for the longevity of your business. And so I had to learn that I had to gravitate, like certain things that I did with the influencer market, I had to change because I was popular there, but only, you know, I was getting the makeup people and things like that. And at that time, I didn't have the brush soap. At that time, I didn't have the makeup remover. At that time, it was just bath bombs, soaps, and lotions and that type of thing. So I wasn't even in the makeup, you know, thing. Because when I left the YouTube arena, I said I did not want to do makeup. I was so turned off by makeup that I didn't even want to do it anymore. Right? I was like, I want to be completely different. I don't want to be affiliated with makeup or anything, because my natural transition would have been to have started a cosmetic company, to have done something within the makeup game. But I decided that that wasn't where I wanted to be. Right? So I said, I'm going to do something different. And that is how I ended up doing Bath and Body. But it was all about transition because my makeup people weren't my Bath and Body people. So now I have to figure out how to get in front of my Bath and Body people. And now I have to figure out where I'm going to show up and what's my message and who am I? Because if I'm not Nikki 26, the makeup artist, who am I? Or Nikki 26, the influencer, who am I? And so I had to start to figure that out. And we have to start figuring that out as business owners. We need to start figuring out who we are and what we are. If the market starts to pivot, then how are we going to get in front of people? What does that mean for myself? Where am I going to get my creativity? How am I going to get in front of these people? So it's something to think about. And so I really enjoy doing that. And I think we should probably go into it a little bit more and go a little bit deeper, because again, there are going to be challenging times in the economy. It's going to be challenging times, period. And so there are going to be times when we have peaks and we have valleys. We're going to have our high highs and our low lows. And so we are going to have to learn how to adapt when we are in that type of an environment. Yes, 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 and yes, y'all. Don't stay too long in something that's not working. Gotta pivot or it will die. Absolutely. Because it will move. If you don't change with it, it's going to keep on changing. And if you don't evolve, you're going to lose. You're going to fall off. You're going to fall on the wayside, because if you don't keep up with the times are going to move right past you, right? All those people who said, you know, I don't want to transition from the typewriter to a computer or whatever. Times left them behind. You cannot find you a typewriter unless you go into a vintage shop, right? Times are going to leave you behind. So you have to make sure that you keep up with the times, that you're going to get left or stuck, right? And when you're in business, I mean, if you're a creative person and you were a writer or something, then that may have been something that worked for you because that's part of your process. But if you are trying to create a business and you're trying to build a business, then you're going to have to use that to your advantage and see what can you do creatively that is going to help you to maintain and be on top, right? So yes, yes, and yes. So that was a really good point, Jasmine. Don't stay too long in something that's not working. Got to pivot or it will die. Absolutely. So I have my notes, but I don't have that many notes because I wanted to get your feedback and understand what you guys were receiving from the message that we were talking about on Thursday night. So one of the things that I discussed was weathering the storms. Again, there's going to be storms. There are going to be times that are trying. Everything is not going to be amazing. I don't care what end of somebody's reel you see, the highlight reel, the mid reel, whatever, but you never see the struggle. You never see them crying. You never see them like, oh, I don't have any sales coming in. I mean, sometimes you do when some people are being transparent about their journey, but most of the time you see the cars, the this, the that. And then, but if you look at it at a certain pattern, some people grow so extremely fast. And then when things don't work the way that they were working initially, they are no longer excited about selling the thing, right? Or they don't know what to do. They don't know how to pivot. And this is the importance of it, because you need to be passionate about what it is that you're doing, because when it's good times and it's bad times, if you're passionate about it, you're still going to make sure that you see this thing through, right? You still, if you just did something just because everybody else is doing it, or this thing is popular, or this is where I see the industry going, if you're just going that route without even having a passion for it, you're going to lose it. So whenever those lows comes, it's going to wipe you right out, right? So you got to figure out some kind of way to be connected to a passion, to your passion, to the project or the product or the services that you're giving, right? You have to find some way to be connected to that, because if you're not connected to it, I'm telling you, anything is going to take you out. No sales are coming, I'm done with that. No customers are coming, I'm done with that. I went to the market and nobody came to my table and purchased anything, I'm done with that. As soon as something happens that is uncomfortable, is going to make you uncomfortable, right? Because it's geared for you to learn from it. You don't learn in comfortability. You learn when you're in discomfort. You learn when things are difficult. You learn when you're struggling. You learn when times are hard. This is where the lessons are. The lessons are never going to come when you're coasting and you're going and you're complacent. The lessons are never going to come from that, right? Your lessons are going to come from realizing that I am going to have to figure out what I'm going to have to do in order for me to survive, in order for me to thrive, in order for my business to move forward, in order for me to have creative ideas, in order for my brand to look cohesive. I am going to have to do something different. I am going to have to look at what I'm doing that's not working so that I can figure out what I can do so it can work, right? And in those moments, you come up with amazing ideas. So don't overlook those valleys, right? Don't overlook those times when you don't know what to do next, right? Because in those times, that is when you're going to find your genius. That is when you're going to discover, hey, I could do this. Oh, I never thought I should do this. Maybe I should try doing this way. Maybe I should try doing this way. Because as long as something is working, you're never going to think about, ways to be outside of the box until something changes you. Something changes you on the outside. Something changes you in the market. Something changes you with the customers. Until then, that is you're not going to change, right? You're going to keep it the same. So we need to make sure that we find some inkling of passion in whatever it is that we're doing that is going to allow us to keep on going when we hit these valleys, right? And these valleys are not here to discourage us. These valleys are not here to deter us. These valleys are here to grow us and to show us what we are actually capable of doing. You cannot realize your strength when you are like when things are going just fine. You're not going to actually realize your strength. It is when you are when you're down and out and you just don't know what the next thing is. That is when you discover your strength. That is when you discover those creative ideas. So keep in mind that you need to find some level of passion, and know that if you're in a season of discomfort right now, if you're in a season of a valley right now, that this is only here to teach you to do something differently. This is to teach you to operate in a different capacity, right? Because what you were doing is not working, and it may just need a little tweak, right? It may not mean that you have to scrap everything. It may means that you need to do a little tweak. It may mean that you need to show up a little bit more. It may mean that you need to just do a little something with your service. Maybe I need to offer a little something. Maybe I need to communicate with my people a little more. It may just be a little tiny tweak in order for you to see some change. But in order for you to do it, you can't give up when you're in the season of the valley, right? The season of the valley may be dark. It may make you feel like you don't have anything to look forward to, or everything is lost and this ain't for you, and this may be for other people, but this ain't for me. When you're in that season of the valley, those are usually the thoughts that come to your mind, right? I'm not good enough. I shouldn't have even started this. This person told me I shouldn't have did that. This person told me I shouldn't have did that. Maybe I should have listened. Maybe they were right. And you start thinking to yourself, and you start talking negative to yourself, and you start feeling that this is where, in order for me to get through this and just get over it, because instead of us going through the valleys and saying we're going to grow through this and we're going to learn through this, and okay, this is a lesson for me, this is a part of my journey, this is what I got to do in order for me to get through, a lot of the times we just really ready to give up. We're ready to just throw in the towel and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel pain anymore. I want to be happy. I want to be this. I want to do that. And you just want to rush through it, right? But there's something that it's an alarm system, right? It's an alarm system that's letting you know, hey, something is not working. Let's fix it. Oh, you feeling this type of way? Good. You need to feel that type of way, because this type of way is going to get you into a better mindset, and to your, to help you to see that you are capable of doing anything and you are capable of getting through it. But if you are trying to just get over it, you're never going to get the lesson. You're always going to overlook the lesson, and that lesson is going to continue to repeat itself until you see you need to make that change in that in the lesson. Yes, 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 and yes. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are talking about the class, The Power of the Pivot, that we did on Thursday. Thank you so much, Michi. Yes, everybody, hit the thumbs up button. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Hit it, hit it, hit it, y'all. Run it up. Run it up. Oh, I got my green on just in case, y'all. Got my green on. Posting my products on my personal Facebook has brought me leads and people wanting to buy for the most part. I'm going to lean into that more. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Right? Yes, yes, and yes. Instagram is big, but I have been neglecting other potential revenue streams like Facebook and TikTok. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. You can get paid off of these things. You could create, how could you use a membership or subscription off of Instagram or wherever they have those things? I know you could get stars off of Facebook, but you got to show up. You can't just be like, oh, I want to get paid. You got to show up and be on the platform. The purpose of them giving you that incentive is so that you can keep people on the platform longer. And so when they see that you're keeping people on the platform longer, then they are trying to give you money so that you can continue to do that. So if there's options for revenue streams, go ahead and grab those things. Grab those things. I've been thinking, like, what am I going to do for membership? I've been hemming and hawing about my membership on YouTube and my membership on Instagram, but I think we just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for it, because why? It's there, and I'm there too. So let's do it. Right? Let's do it. Yes, yes, use your personal page in your stories. TikTok is my BFF now. I'm telling you, that class we took with DC, they were on part 2. I think I missed part 1, but the class with DC, she gave some really good tips on what to do to grow your TikTok, and not so much to go viral, but just to get the views and get recognition and everything like that on TikTok. It was really, really good. So yeah, that was a good class this weekend. That was a really good class this weekend. So how many of you guys feel that when you're in the valley, you feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. I just want to get over it. I just want to get through this valley real fast. I don't want to feel this anymore. This is too much. This is too much. How many of you guys feel that way? Put a 1 in the chat or put a 2. Put a 1 in the chat or put a 2. And I'm going to tell you from my personal story is, when I'm in my valleys, I don't stay dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I feel it and I'm like, why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to do from it? Ideally, you might think, oh, Nikki, that's a, of course you would think that. No, you don't initially think that, because initially you like, why am I going through this? Why is no sales coming in? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And it forces you to look at your structure. It forces you to look at the way you are showing up. Right? Because maybe I'm not showing up the way I think I'm showing up. Maybe there is a miscommunication. Maybe I'm not coming across the way I need to come across. And maybe I'm not doing all the things. Maybe I'm focusing on too many other different things that I'm not focusing on, where I need to be focused on. Or maybe I need to get more structured. Maybe I need to get more organized. Maybe I need to. And so I start to kind of like think myself through it, even though it doesn't feel good. Even though I don't like the way it feels, I still make sure that I'm thinking myself through it, right? Because that's just like a pain in your body, right? If you have a pain in your body, the pain in your body is alerting you that something is wrong, right? It's alerting you that you need to be paying attention to something else, right? And a lot of the times we just like, oh, I just wish this pain was over. Oh, I just want to, but what is it alerting you to? Like, what else could possibly go wrong? Like, what else is going wrong? Maybe your eating habits are not right. Maybe you're eating too much sugar. Maybe you're consuming too much of something. Maybe you're not consuming enough of something else, right? So it is an alarm system for you to be like, oh, let me pay attention to what's going on so that I can fix it, because I don't want to wait until I am down and out and it's irreversible and I can't fix it. I want to make sure that I can fix this right here, right now. And that is the way we need to think within our business. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Instead of when we're in the valleys, we're thinking about just hurrying up and I just want to hurry up and get over it. No, how can you think through it? Right? Because this journey is going to grow you. So how can you think through it? Yes, yes, and yes, y'all. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me see, Jules, you're about to be a TikTok guru in a minute. I'm telling you. Did you make your 100? Did you make your 100 yet? DC changed my whole life. Too much damn sugar. I'm telling you, your body is alerting you to let you know that there's some things that we may have to be paying attention to, right? So when you hit those valleys, think about what is the lesson that you're getting from this. Think about how you can grow from this. Think about what you can do to get through it, what concepts you need to start implementing, what things you need to start doing. Maybe you need to start communicating more. Maybe you need to start taking care of yourself a little bit more. Maybe you need to start clearing your mind. Maybe you need to start writing. What is it that I need to do in order for me to grow through the valley? Grow through the valley, right? You don't want to just, I want to be out of the valley. No, you want to grow through the valley because you're going to be able to hit peaks, right? The valley is not going to be your final destination. That is not where you're designed to stay, right? It is designed to give you a challenge. It is designed for you to figure it out. It is designed for you to experience the struggle so that you can come through it, so that you can grow through it, so that you can be stronger, so that you know that you are fully capable of doing anything that you say that you want to do. Right? As long as you're willing to do the work, you are capable of doing every single thing that you want to do. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me know. Let me know. All right, girl. She got 105 from her TikTok. Yesterday, her goal was to hit 100. But I think she was at 79, and the goal was to hit 100, and she got her 100. So she's at 105. Hey. I'm on a no salt diet now. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with salt. I love salt. I know, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna share a little something. You know the master cleanse, you have the lemon and the cayenne, and then there's the salt water flush that you're supposed to have. I love the taste of the salt water flush. Crazy, right? I was drinking it like, oh, this is delicious. Why? Could be a deficiency. I don't know. But I love salt. I loved it. I was just drinking it like nothing. I was just drinking it like nothing. My mother's like, how you could drink this? I was like, it tastes good to me. Tastes good to me. I know. I know, but I like bitter stuff anyway. So I like olives, pickles. I like bitter and sour. Bitter, sour, and salt. That is my thing. Not the flush. Yes. Yes, I love salt, but I toned it down. I know in my older age, I have to start toning down my salt intake because my feet get swollen. That only happened when I was pregnant, but now it's starting to happen more often. So I gotta tone it down too, Michi. I'm with you. I'm with you. I know I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. Gives new meaning to salt to being salty, right? Right? Because I'll be right on point. I'm right on point. Salt and vinegar chips. Good morning, Trina. Yes. I used to take salt and vinegar chips. Me and my sister. We would buy pickles from the store. Remember those big old pickles in a jar? We would buy pickles from the store and we would buy a bag of Bonton. Who remembers Bonton potato chips? Who remembers Bonton potato chips? Put a lot of salt on my eggs, but I started putting less because it's so bad for you. Let me tell you, I used to go and get the Bonton sweet and sour, the salt and vinegar Bonton potato chips, and we used to buy pickles from the store, and then we would take our potato chips and shove them into the pickle, and then we eat it like that. Yep, that's what we used to do when I was younger. Me and my sister, that was our thing. And my mom, and I know I get it from my mother because my mother would eat whatever was salty and vinegary until her lips turned real white. So she would have cucumbers with vinegar, until her lips turned white. The tomatoes, salt and vinegar potato chips, pickles, all of that. We used to love, love, love. We don't do it anymore the way we used to, but yeah. Definitely. Plus, I don't even think that, do they even sell Bonton chips no anymore? They don't even sell. Those were the best salt and vinegar chips. I ain't do that though. I'm telling you. We did. I don't like pickles like that. Oh my gosh, they were so good. So good, so good, so good. Potato chips and pickles. Yep. Or if they didn't have the jars, we would get the bags, the potato chips in the bag. I mean, not the potato chips, the pickles in the bag, and drink the juice, and then put the chips in there. Crazy. Crazy what I used to do when I was younger. I love vinegar. I'm not gonna lie. I love putting jalapenos in vinegar. I love vinegar too. Vinegar is my fave. One of my faves. I love that too. When my cucumbers grow in my garden, I'm gonna have cucumbers and vinegar, salt and pepper, and tomatoes. Have that right on my little plate, and that's what I'm gonna eat for my little snack. I love getting the big pickles. Yep, yep. Take you down memory lane, right? The summer used to be so fun. I love vinegar too. The summertime used to be so much fun in the Bronx. And every time like I think about it, I'm like, that's the essence of everything. Everything goes back to my childhood in the Bronx. So I don't like apple cider vinegar though. I know you don't. It makes your stomach burn, but I still drink it. I still drink it and I still love it. And I still love it. So only Jazz gave me a takeaway from the Power of the Pivot class. So somebody who was in the Power of the Pivot class, please let me know in the chat, what was your takeaway? Like, what are you going to be doing now? What was your takeaway from the Power of the Pivot? And again, I think I'm going to go more in depth, and I'm going to do another, I'm going to add on to what I did. Summertime shy over here. Come on. I don't know what it's like because I have never been there, but we are going to Chicago next year. Consistency. Okay. Got it, got it, got it. Got it, got it, got it. I'm gonna look down at my notes. Why when you reading something you always make a sound like do 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 da da da? Why do you always do that? Being able to adapt when the market changes. We were talking about companies that were not willing to change and they got left behind. And the companies that we were talking about was Netflix. I mean, not Netflix. Well, Netflix is about to get left behind because they better get on with this streaming. But we were talking about Blockbuster. We were talking about MySpace, Kodak, BlackBerry, the businesses that did not change with the times and they had got left behind, and other things other products and people who were more innovative and they were adapting, they stepped into their spots or they created new lanes because they were willing to change with the times. They were willing to listen to what the marketplace wanted. And so they made adjustments accordingly. And so they were first and top of mind before the other companies, and the other companies kind of phased their way out. And so you don't want that to be you. You don't want that to be you. So when your customers are telling you that they want something, when your customers are saying, can you do or whatever, again, don't change every single thing. But if you see that as a common thread that people keep saying, you know what, you should offer a big size in this. You should offer a bigger size in this. Maybe you should offer a bigger size. And they're not from the same camp and they're saying something like that, then maybe it's time for you to offer another size. Maybe it's time, maybe you do a limited collection of this particular size object or product or whatever, right? Maybe it's time that you do those things. But you have to be willing to listen to your customers, because your customers are, let me tell you something, your customers, besides your emails being a gold mine, your customers are going to be a gold mine, a wealth of information. They're going to tell you exactly what they need and why they need it. If you're listening to them, they will let you know, right? I created a makeup remover. Why? Because my customers were saying, you know what would be a good idea? If you did, right? And what I was already doing, I was already taking off my makeup a certain way with my body moves. And I was like, you know what? It works amazing. But what if I do it where it's for removing your makeup, right? And it's not heavy on your skin. It still keeps your skin moisturized, and it feels good on your skin, right? And that is how I started to formulate, because I listened to what my customers were saying about the things that they wanted, right? You can't ignore what your customers want when you have a business. Your customers kind of like, I don't want to say they run you, but your customers are going to give you the valuable information that you need in order for you to have a successful product. right? So you got to make sure that you're listening to your customers. Sis said consistency, that she got as her takeaway. Chantel says, my takeaway was that I need to get my behind in gear, yes, and start doing the work. To be honest, sending more emails, going live, and bundling products. Absolutely. I didn't see, but I'm with you, Chantel. Okay. Bundle products, sell up, and email marketing. Yes, yes, and yes. A lot of the times people are coming to your website because they're coming for a specific thing, right? Or they know you for a specific thing, but they may not even go looking through your website. Everybody's not going to say, let's go see what's over here. What's over here? People are not looking at your website and trying to figure all those things out, right? People are going to get the thing that they want. They're going to get and they're leaving. So maybe if I'm upselling and I'm showing you, oh, maybe you would like this with that, or people like this with that, you're going to say, oh, that's a good idea. My baby does have this, and or my sister does love this. Let me just grab this, and now I'm going to get it. So now you change the average order value. You making it higher because now you're selling your products up. You upselling your products, or you're selling a bundle of products, which is going to, change the value. But you want to make sure it's something that people want. Don't just throw anything together, but you want to make sure it's something that people want and they are willing to spend the money for, right? So yes, this is definitely something that everybody could utilize. Plus, there are so many upsell apps and things that you could use within your whatever your website host is. You should be able to or whatever your selling platform is, you should be able to download one of those apps that'll help you to upsell. You can even do the countdowns where you could say if you buy this within 30 seconds, you'll get this mini size for 20% off or whatever, right? But you could do that because people feel like, I feel rushed. I gotta get it. So you could even add the countdowns onto your upsell. You can do upsell coupons. You can do upsell codes. You can do, just add on a product and give a certain discount for something. But think about different ways that you can start upselling your products, right? Because they need to know about your amazing stuff, right? If I'm only selling you brush soap, you're only going to know me for my brush soap. You may not try anything different. So whenever I'm sending out my products, I'll always include a sample of something different, right? Or sample of a scrub, especially if I see like, oh, okay, you got to be into beauty if you're getting the brush soap or you're getting to take me off. Let me give you maybe the lip scrub or something like that. I won't necessarily give you just another soap. I would give you something that would be, what I would consider into the beauty area, because then you find something that you feel is complementary to what you already do. You're going to enjoy it and then you're going to buy it. And so that's my mindset behind me giving samples or whatever. If you buying more body oils, not body oils, but body with body mousse, body butters, if you buy those, sometimes I'll give you a different scent body butter, but normally I would give you maybe a sugar scrub or something, because that would complement the with body mousse, right? That would say, oh, well, try the scrub first, then try the body butter, and then you may even, love that combination. So I try to think like, how can I complement the products that they're purchasing, or what is their mindset when they're purchasing? Maybe they're purchasing for somebody who got dry skin, whatever, and then I can, move accordingly. And so that's how I think. And that's how you guys need to think as well, right? My takeaway, the class was good. However, I felt it was more for candles and soap. I was thinking of ways for PCC. Well, if you don't think about it as candles and soap and you just think about the principles are always the same in business, right? Your approach is going to be different, but the principles are going to be the same. So the same way, if you notice that sales are not moving in a certain way, and that means you may have to communicate differently. You still have to get emails. You still need to stay in contact, constant contact with people. You still need to make sure that you can upsell to your customers, because if you're selling your fedoras, maybe you say, this is a suggestion that I have with the fedoras. If you like the mustard color fedoras, I have these earrings that complement that, or that'll look amazing with that. Or maybe try these earrings with the fedora, because this is going to blah 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 blah. Those type of things. Maybe even a questionnaire, right? when you come into the site, what are you looking for? This way, when somebody does come to your site, the same way they do like with those shoe stores and things like that, they kind of, and Rihanna, the same way they try to get your style, the way what your style is, so that they could customize it. You can do the same thing for your customers, right? I don't know exactly how you can do it, but I see it in my head and it looks really good. Like you could just get like a style profile, and then you can upsell different things, upsell a kimono, upsell, especially if, and if the kimono comes up, are you going on vacation? Because this bag will complement this kimono perfectly, or these earrings would match this perfectly, or this would match that perfectly, like style suggestions. You could still do the same thing. Your upsell would just be different, but it'll still be the same principle. You'll still be upselling, yes, or you'll still be creating the FOMO. You'll still be creating that whole, experience for your customer, that they feel like, oh, you see me, oh, I see that you understand what I like, and so since you understand what I like, then I'm going to shop with you more often, right? Because I would have never thought to pair this with that, or I would have never thought to pair this with that, right? Or if they purchase the kimono, you can say, oh, these looks look perfect with the kimono, right? And then you could say with some cut up jeans, with some shorts, with a bathing suit, with the this, with the that, and you could show them different ways that they could wear their kimono. You could show them how to wear the kimono as a dress, as a shirt, as a cover up. Like you can show how to do different things with what you have, as opposed to just having that one thing, right? So again, the principles are going to be the same. The way, the way that you approach is going to be different, but it's still the same thing, right? So when we talking and you, I'll always say soap, think about me outside of soap and see how you can put push classic collections in that situation, right? Because it'll still be the same way. I still need to promote. I still need to speak to my audience. I still need to upsell my audience. I still need them to see the importance of my value. I still need them to see why they're going to spend $30 on a soap. Or I still, you know what I'm saying? The same thing with you. It's going to be the same principles, but we just gotta, we're in different lanes, but it's the same thing. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And one other thing that one other thing that I put in my notes is that people get stuck instead of pivoting, right? They get stuck in a point of the pivot. I know when we decided that we was going to do the power of the pivot, the day when I started writing my notes, I seen a sermon from TD Jakes, and it's the point of the pivot. And I was like, that is perfect, right? Because at in that moment, we're twisting and turning on a point, right? And a lot of us get stuck, and we don't completely pivot, right? We just get stuck. We don't make the turn. We need to make sure that we don't get stuck in the pivot, right? The pivot is not meant, you're not meant to stay, you're meant to turn, right? And turning doesn't mean that you're abandoning everything. It just means that you're changing the way that you're viewing it. It just means that you're changing your approach. It just means that there is a, you have to turn in order for you to go in the direction that you want to go into, right? Yes, yes, and yes. That's what Ms. Lloyd said. Yes, yes, and yes, right? So you got to make sure that you do that. And also, then I want you to also pay attention to what you do when you're in the valley, right? And let me ask you guys, what do you do when you're in the valley? When you're in your lowest moment, what are you doing? And this could be your lowest moment in life. This could be your lowest moment in business. What do you do in your lowest moment? Do you just crawl up into a ball and just stay hidden? Do you just allow it to take over everything? Or are you, as mothers, a lot of the times when we are in our lowest moments, we don't have the ability to act as if we can just cower and hide. We don't have that ability. Like we have to put on the strong face and do whatever needs to be done for our family and ourselves, and we have to just show that, right? And so a lot of the times we don't have that, but on the inside we are doing something. But what is that? What are you doing on the inside? What is that doing to you? Right? Chantel says, yes, I was stuck. Thankfully, I'm able to gain knowledge and to make a successful pivot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Miss Linda, good morning, good morning, good morning. Gotcha. Yes. Right. What do you do when you're in those valleys of your life or those valleys of your business, right? And I tell you, sometimes my initial thought is, why is this happening to me? Why is this going on? What have I done? Why is this happening to me? Initially, those are my thoughts, right? Once I get past all of those thoughts, I'm like, okay, so now what do I need to do? How do I need to approach this? What am I learning in this? What am I learning in this season? Because it's only a season, and we have to realize that the valley is only going to be for a season, or it may not even be for a full season, right? It may just be until you come into the realization, but it's only going to be temporary, right? So what are you going to do once you get out of there, right? My mind says, got to get me out of this, right? I can't stay stuck here. I have to move. I have to grow. I have to thrive. And in order for me to do this, I got to think myself out of this, right? I'm not going to keep digging myself, but I got to think myself out of this for a second. Once I could think myself out of it, I could create a plan. Once I create a plan, I can move effectively. I can move accordingly. I can move strategically, as opposed to you're just reacting to everything, right? I can operate from a point of strategy as opposed to reactionary, right? So we must think like that when we are in those dark moments, in those valleys, and we know that they're just a moment, right? They're here to pass. We have to start thinking outside of that. What can we do to get through this? Because this is going to pass. And while I'm here in this moment, I need to start writing some things down. I need to start seeing what needs to be changed. I need to see how I need to save. I need to see what I need to implement. I need to see who I need to be around. I need to see what I need to read in this moment, because something is going to enlighten you, and something is going to awaken you and awaken you out of that darkness, out of that slumber, out of that valley. Something's going to move you, and you're going to be like, it's time to go. It's time for me to move. I got what I needed from this, and now I'm going. Right? I got what I needed, and now I'm going. Yes, yes, and yes, y'all. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Streaming while working, just jumped on my phone to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are happy to see you this weekend. Well, this weekend, this new week, Tracy. We're happy to see you. Got you. I read it right. I read it right. So we have to remember that this is only temporary. It's only temporary. Start seeking solutions while you're in this temporary valley, right? Start thinking of ways that you can plan to get out of this valley. What can I do to get out of this valley? What is going to serve me? Who do I need to be around? Am I around the wrong people while I'm in the valley? That's another thing. Who am I around when I'm in the valley? You don't want to be around more miserable people, because they just going to keep you miserable, because maybe they're not ready to get out the valley. So do you want to be there with them? I absolutely don't. Right? I absolutely do not want to be in a miserable valley with anybody. Right? I don't want to be in a miserable valley with myself. So why am I going to sit here with somebody else? Misery love company is what they say, but I don't want to be miserable with nobody. Right? But that's just me. Right? We're not going to sit here being miserable together. Right? Somebody's got to uplift the other person. Right? Somebody's got to help the other person through. We can't just be sitting here stuck and stupid. Right? We got to get through this. So that's one thing. Don't stay stuck in your valley. Do not stay stuck in your valley. Don't want no parts of it. I'm telling you, Deltra, I do not. I don't want it on me. I don't want it in me. I don't want to think about it throughout my day. I don't want to think about if you got through it. I don't want to think about none of that. I don't want it on me at all. I don't want it on me at all. Why? Because it's not helping me and it's not serving me. And if I'm trying to talk you through something, and you're you're in a miserable situation, or you're in the valley, and I'm trying to say something to you, maybe what I'm saying to you is not going to resonate with you immediately, because you are still in it and it's difficult for you to see through it, right? And I'm on the outside looking in, but still, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll resonate with you later when you're able to receive it. A lot of the times when we're in the valley, sometimes we're not ready to receive information. So if we're not ready to receive it, what can we do so that we can open up our eyes to move differently? right? And a lot of the times that may be you praying. That may be that's the main thing you need to be praying, right? You need to be praying, you need to be reading, you need to be informing yourself, you need to be arming yourself, right? Because you are allowing something to take over, right? And I'm not saying everything is easy peasy, right? But I am saying that there is some work that is going to be required in order for you to get out of that moment, right? There's some work that is required in order for you to get out of the moment, right? The valleys are not meant to stay. You're not meant to stay there. It is meant to just be a season. And I had wrote that boxers usually, let's say a boxer, we've seen boxers, they successful, wildly successful, and then all of a sudden they have a string of fights that they're losing, or they're not fighting to the best of their ability, or they're just not the same anymore, right? And you see boxers that do this all the time, right? But the thing is that you have to have selective amnesia, right? You have to say, oh, I'm after this, after I got knocked down or whatever, I'm going back and I'm going to train harder. I'm going to train differently. I'm going to do different things differently, because you knew what you did up until that point and that didn't work, right? You got knocked out, you got, whatever, right? TKO, whatever. You got knocked out, knocked down, and you didn't have a great performance. But now that I got to go back into the gym and I got to train for my next fight, because that's not where I'm stopping, right? So I have to train for my next fight. I need to get myself in order to train for my next fight. That's how we need to think. We need to think that when we are, if we got knocked down, or if we're in that valley, how are you going to train to better prepare yourself for the fight ahead? Right? You have to train. You're going to train differently. You're going to learn differently. You're going to absorb differently. You're going to try different things. You're going to maybe try yoga. Maybe you're going to meditate. Maybe you're going to work out with a different trainer. Maybe you're going to try different styles of boxing. Maybe you're going to try some wrestling. Maybe you're going to do some water aerobics. Maybe you're going to do something differently that you didn't do before, in order so that you could get different results, right? So you're going to have to train differently. You're going to train harder, because the results that you want is to become that of a champion, right? Of that of a winner. In order for that to happen, you are going to have to train differently. So if you are in the valley, right, start training your mind that you got to think differently. However you trained before and whatever you worked up to this point to be, is not it, right? I need to start training differently. I need to go harder, right? A lot of the times we want this business thing to work. We want our products to sell and do all this thing, but we're not even doing the work. We're not even willing to do the work. We're not even willing to show up. We think we are, but we're not, right? How many of you guys don't post on social media? You're not doing the work. How many of you guys are emailing your customers? You are not doing the work. How many of you guys have a fear of selling? You are not doing the work. So if that is the case, then we need to train harder. If you know that that's a place that you're uncomfortable in, then you need to train harder in that section. You need to train harder in that arena, because clearly you're not comfortable there, and that is where you're going to find the growth. You're going to find a growth wherever you don't feel comfortable at. Right? If you don't feel comfortable in sales, how can I get confident in sales? If you don't feel comfortable in communication, how can I communicate better? If you don't feel comfortable in your product, what can I do within my branding that is going to keep me on point, or to make everything look good, or make everything look cohesive, so I could connect with my customers? What can I do differently? We have to start training harder. We have to have the mindset, kind of like a boxer, that if I get knocked down, I'm going to have to get back into that gym and I'm going to have to train, right? My training season is going to be crazy, right? Because while in that valley, I'm going to work my way up out of the valley so that I can have my peak and I can become a champion. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me know how you guys felt about today's live. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me know if you with me. Let me know if you're not there with me. And even if you're not there with me, it is okay, because sometimes, the message ain't there for you. But it's okay. It's okay. Oh, it's really okay. But let me know if that resonated with you, and if you are going to do anything differently. What are you going to be doing differently? Get your butt out the valleys. Get your butt out the valley. Think your way through, pull yourself up and out, train harder. You are going to be a champion if you do the work. You cannot just say, I'm going to be a champion, and don't do what you need to do to train to get that way, right? Boxers train, right? And the people who don't train don't win. They don't win. They're not prepared. Get properly prepared to fight, right? Properly prepared to fight. Do you feel it's wrong of me to fall back a little to work on my business? I don't want to just be putting out anything. What do you mean? Do you mean now I'm gonna have you come up or send me a message or send me a message? I had to get out of the gutter. Pull yourself up out of the gutter. Pull yourself out of the gutter. That's an inside story. And that is Sean in the gutter, and she said I wouldn't pull her out of the gutter if she was a crackhead. And I wouldn't. But I would not. Because I was like, well, how did you become a crackhead? She was like, that ain't important. It kind of is. You don't just say, oh, times is hard, let me just go right to crack. Like you had there's some signs. There were some things that I should be seeing before you go straight to the gutter and lose everything. So that was our side conversation in the gutter. Pull yourself up out of the gutter. Trina, I think your brand is amazing, but please do message me because I would like to again, I would like to get a little bit more deeper and see exactly what you mean, because I think your brand is on point. I fell back a little on social media to work on email marketing, fix my website, and had to do and to make more quality content. Well, if you fell back to create more quality content, that's understandable. If you don't promote as much, quality is better than quantity when it comes to your social media. But as long as you are staying consistent, if you say I'm not going to post 3 times a day, but I am going to post 1 time or 2 times, if that's what you mean, then that can work for you, especially if it's quality, right? You don't want to just throw out anything, right? You want to make sure that it's something that's resonating with your followers. So I can understand that. But again, send me a message and let's talk about it. Thank you for the gems. Thank you so much, Miss Lois. I'm going to do the work and become a successful business owner. You already are. You already are a successful business owner. Change your words. You already are. Right? So everybody, I hope that you guys enjoyed this live. I hope that the investment of your hour, you spent your hour with me, and I know that you can't get that back. I hope that it was worth it to you and something that I said resonated with you. And I hope that anything that I said today is useful for you and you can utilize and implement into your life every single day, or sometimes in your day, right? Sometimes in your day. And if anything that I said resonated with you and you would like to share this video out, please share this video out with everybody. Why? Because I'm on the road to 100K and I got to have 100K by December 31st. I'm almost at 20K. I need to get to my 100K. So I'm on the road. So make sure that y'all share this video out and tell everybody, come join us over here because we popping. And if you are catching the replay and is there anything that you would like for us to discuss on Coffee with Nikki, please post in the comments below. Also like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications bell because the notifications bell is going to tell you when we go live. And we are live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Coffee with Nikki, your daily cup of information and inspiration. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me see. It'll be later. I worked and gotta get my stuff for my son graduation Wednesday. Okay. All right. Sounds like a plan. Just don't forget. Everybody, I will check you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. And what am I going to be talking about? Oh, the things that you say to yourself that proves to be true. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. You guys, if you're not reading Psycho-Cybernetics, I don't know what you're doing. Psycho-Cybernetics is the book that we are reading right now. You can listen to it for absolutely free on YouTube. The guy who's doing the narrating off of YouTube is very much more entertaining than the other one that is reading off of Audible. He's boring, but you can listen to that from there, or you can get the thrifted book for like $5 off of Amazon if you need to have a physical book. But we are reading Psycho-Cybernetics. Get with the wave or you are going to get left behind. Okay, I'm going to be talking about Psycho-Cybernetics tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. Of course, I'm going to fill your timelines with all my shenanigans and information that I think that you guys need to hear and should hear, and things that I needed to hear for myself. So I will check you guys in the morning. Bye, y'all.